Hey guys, welcome to another segment of Broken but Not Defeated. Today I'm joined by my beautiful friend Lizette Bezuidt. She will be telling us more about her experience, her journey, and letting us into her personal space. And let's get right into it. Hi babe,
Hi, Judy.
how are you?
Perfect. Things in yourself.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for making time for us and engaging with us regarding this whole broken but not defeated theme. We appreciate you so much, and we would like to hear about your journey and your experience. And please feel free to tell us anything that you want to say to us about that whole experience.
Okay, where do I start?
No, you can just start anywhere. You can, like, we also want to know who Lizette is, and just start there. Tell us about you.
Okay. First of all, I think I'm gonna start with the experience because I think that is why we are here for. Losing a child is not easy. I don't think it's easy for anyone, and it's also not easy to go through the process or even to get over it. I mean, with me, it's 5 years after, or 6 years now, because it's 2020, and sometimes it still comes back, and then you still feel as if it was yesterday. But I also feel like if you go through a process like that, it's important to have a positive mindset. I think in each and every situation that we face in life, or each and everything that we go through in life, it's important for your mindset to be right. If your mindset is right, then you can overcome everything. Whether it's physical, emotionally, whether it's something that is psychologically or whatever, if your mindset is right, you can overcome it. So what happened with me is I had a healthy pregnancy, or a normal pregnancy, like each and everyone would say. And then my baby was born in 2014 on the 6th of May. And he was perfectly fine, everything. He was healthy, he was a baby boy. And then 3 weeks after, he was still healthy on the day that he passed away. We had things that we were doing during the afternoon, and then at night he just stopped. In Afrikaans they say like in a child has a vigie. I don't know how to explain it in English. It happens a lot with boys, especially like in the early days, that they just stop breathing and then they pass away.
What do you call it in Afrikaans?
They say it's a vigie.
It's a vigie.
Yeah.
You know what you are saying? I kind of relate to what you are saying, because with me, I did explain in the previous episode that with mine, he was admitted at the hospital, right? Because the breathing technique was not balancing, right? And when we got to the hospital, they said he, like, the liver had some kind of a damage. They don't know if it was jaundice that was not treated, or if it was lungs. Nobody knows. It's a mystery with this whole thing. So hence I understand what you were saying when you say he just stopped breathing, because with us it started with him having blocked nose and not being able to breathe, and then giving him the antibiotic. Oh, so when I went to a specialist, he said the reason why the baby was having something like a diarrhea after I had taken him to the hospital, it's because they had given him the antibiotic. So antibiotic makes the tummy loose. So because he was not strong enough at that point, the tummy got too loose, and everything that was essential, the fluids in his body, the essential fluids in his body,
it
went out, and then he got dehydrated, and the sugar was 0. So when we got there, they talked about a liver. So we don't know what could have caused it, because sometimes they say there's a liver disease. I don't know what is it called, but sometimes there's an untreated jaundice that causes liver failure and goes on to the lungs. So I understand. I kind of get where you're coming from with this whole thing. And like did you deal with it? How did you get to a point where you like, I am okay to be a mother without a child. I'm okay to live with this pain.
Okay, I think at the moment that it happened, I was obviously devastated. I think I'm a kind of person, like something happens right now, I don't get shocked immediately. I get aftershock after each and everything that happens. I'm just like that, like, I will deal with whatever's happening now, and then my shock comes after. But getting through the whole period, it was difficult because I remember like for almost a week I couldn't even eat. I didn't get hungry. Like my parents was basically forcing me and I was only drinking water. It was difficult to get over it, but I think it also depends on the people that is in your life. I think with me, my child was buried on a Friday, and then on the Monday, like just to get some fresh air, I left the car at home and I walked to the other side of Bromville, where another friend of mine said. I just walked because I just wanted fresh air. I don't know if it even makes sense. I just felt like getting fresh air, and I walked. And when I go to this other corner, it's almost near the park. I met with this lady. She's a lot older than me, and she just stopped me. I don't really know her, but she knew me. Sometimes when something happened to you, then people, they know you, and then you don't really know. So she stopped me, and she was asking like how I'm feeling and everything. She just started talking to me. And I was like, now I'm okay, because I didn't know that she knew, and you don't just talk to a stranger and you're like, I lost my baby and everything. So I was like, I'm okay. And then she's like, what happened to you, you have to be strong, and please don't blame yourself. Because I think as a parent, you ask yourself, like, what could I have done differently for my baby to still be here? What could I have done, like, in order for him to be alive? You start to blame yourself and you ask yourself, what could you have done?
Yeah.
So she was telling me, like, her specifically, she lost a child 30 years ago. And at that point, I was like, 30 years ago, that's a long time.
A long time ago.
And she's like, she lost a baby 30 years ago. And she was blaming herself, because the first thing that a mother does is like, you start to have that self-blame thing.
You ask yourself like, okay, did I give too much of this? Did I not give too much of this? You ask yourself like, what is it that I've done?
Yes, exactly. And even me, I was asking myself, because at one point I was a paramedic. So I asked myself, like, if I was in the medical field somehow, why couldn't I have done something? But let me talk about this lady, because I think like she's the person who actually put me on the right path. And then she was telling me that she lost her baby 30 years ago, and she was having the self-blame, that she was blaming herself basically, and she was just wondering, like, why wasn't it me? Why is it my child? What is my child going through? Even though the baby has passed, and we know that people who has passed, they don't really feel anything. But she was asking herself, like, what is my child going through? She said until this one day she had a dream. And in the dream, there was a song that the child was singing. Basically what the song was saying is, I am at home right now with Jesus, or with God, and you are my mother, you love me, and there's no greater love than a mother's love, and there's nobody that can take care of you more than a mother can. But at the end of the day, the person who's taking care of all of us in the universe is God. Imagine the love that you had given me. Imagine the love that I'm receiving from the place that I am right now.
Sure.
So right now I am at home. You be at peace. Know that I'm being taken care of, and I'm happy. I'm rejoicing wherever I am right now. I also want you to be happy as a mom. So I think what that lady said to me, it just shifted my mind completely, because what is also said is like, if a child dies when they are still a baby, they don't have any sins. So in some sort of a way, that child is saved from the world, and you know that your child is an angel in heaven. There's no way that they cannot be, because they are perfectly born. There's nothing as pure as a little baby. So that thing, it also, I think that is that was the start of my healing process. That I was able to overcome what happened. But it's not as easy as you just switch off a light and then all of the feelings just disappear. I think it was just a shift in the mindset to the right direction. but the process was still long. Even now, sometimes it still hits.
Yes, I get what you're saying. You know what? When you're talking about this lady, you're reminding me of this other lady as well that I went to church with. I'm a bubbly person. I talk a lot. So I used to be very, I don't know, I used to be very quiet suddenly. Like, I was never as bubbly as I used to be at church, and after church I would leave. So at my church we eat every Sunday, né?
Mhm.
So when we having lunch at church, I wouldn't eat. Like, it was a few months after, and then I wouldn't eat because I never had the appetite anymore. Like, I felt sorry for myself, and she noticed this whole sudden change of behavior with me. And this one time she called my mother and said she wants my numbers, and my mom gave them to her. She called me and invited me to her house. So when I got there, I was sitting with her, and the first thing that she did was to take out a Bible, and then she read a few scriptures for me, and she put me in a right place spiritually before she could speak to me about the physical part of this whole situation. And when she explained, she said to me, she also had a child, like, I think it was like 30 years ago as well. It was around that time, because she has her daughter that came after that is way over 30. So that happened over 30 years ago as well. And she said to me, when she had that child, she was still in school, a nursing school in Bloemfontein, and she came back home, and the child was fine. And the baby, she lost the child when, I think the baby was a year, if I'm not mistaken. But she could not forgive herself. How can she let her child die when she's a nurse? You understand? And what happened after that was that she kept blaming herself. She was depressed. She kept his pictures everywhere around the house, everywhere, because that time they didn't have smartphones. So every picture that she took was there. The neighbors could see that this person has changed. She was not connecting with anybody anymore. She would be in her room, you know. And she said this one time her mother's friend came over, and the mother said, please speak to her. And the old lady came to her and sat her down and said, you know what, I had a dream about your child. And the lady told her, you know what, I usually have these kind of dreams, but this specific one was directed to you. It was like she was somewhere, I don't know where, but she could see these beautiful white babies with wings. It was actual babies on the dream. They had feathers, so they had wings, so they were flying. And she was admiring the beauty of these beautiful babies in white flying and all that, right? And what she did was, she saw that as she was looking, she saw this one at the back struggling to fly, struggling to keep up with the other angels. And then she asked, hello little boy, why are you not flying with the other angels, and why do you look so sad? And this one said, because my mother, and the angel gave the name of the mother. My mother, Motewa, she's at home, she's sad, she's crying herself to sleep every day. So every time she cries, her tears falls over my wings. And then it's difficult for me to fly because my wings are wet. It's difficult for me to keep up with the other angels, with the other kids, because my wings are wet. My mom cannot let go of me, and she doesn't know that I'm in a happy place. please go tell her that I'm in a happy place, I'm at home with the other angels, and I'm looking over her. When she wipes off her tears, that's when my wings are going to dry off, and then I'm going to be able to keep up the pace of other angels. And then immediately there was a shift in her life, and she told me the same thing. And she's like, imagine if your baby is up there with the other angels and is wherever, because we don't know where they go, but imagine in that specific place where they have the duty to be angels and to be happy, and yet you are here crying and depriving him of flying and being able, not letting go, and the wings are wet always, and he cannot fly like other angels. And that for me, I felt so guilty as well. I was like, what if this is true? What if this is also what I'm doing to my son? And that also was a shift for me. And the time I went to the doctor, when he said to me, I need to take this pain and do something with it, that's when I came up with the Broken But Not Defeated organization, and I gathered all the ladies together. And I know you are part of that. Just briefly tell us about how you found out about Broken But Not Defeated, and how has your experience been with Broken But Not Defeated, and all of that.
Actually, how I found out about it is through a friend of mine, Tebuho. She stayed in Bloom at a time, and she's on my WhatsApp also. So like, then sometimes she would see like in posting statuses and stuff like that. And then she was like I think in one of your posts she tagged me on Facebook. And then I was like, okay, no, it's fine. I also want to join this. This is something great, because I'm all for things that is great and positive things. Because I believe in women, I believe in healing, I believe in people having a positive vibe about life. I don't believe in crying the whole time about something. So the name Broken But Not Defeated, it's so powerful, because it shows that in life you get broken a lot of times, but you shouldn't let anything keep you down. You must always be able to get up, even though you are crawling, before you can actually walk again. It just shows like we are not defeated people in life. So like, it was so powerful, so I just thought like, let me join this.
And how has your experience been?
It has been good.
It has been good.
It has been good. The thing that I like about it is like, it doesn't always go about losses. Like you guys are actually a support group. You guys are actually a support group in all other aspects of life, not only the broken but not defeated, the mother without a child, but in other areas in life also. And it's nice to be around positive people that uplifts.
That's good. So what's your religious perspective about this whole thing, and how have you as a person been able to grow spiritually with this whole thing that you've been through?
How I grew spiritually?
Yes.
I think I believe that things happen because it's supposed to happen. Nothing just happened, and you are not the bad luck chosen one for bad things to happen to you. Like, it's the same that I told a lot of people, because I don't know, when you go through stuff like that, especially when you lose your baby, everyone's just saw the baby, now the baby was healthy, now the baby is gone. And then people will come to you and say like, someone bewitched you, or someone did this, and someone did that, and someone did that, and whatever. And I think those things, it just hold you back, because you don't focus on getting over everything. And what I always tell people when they come up with stories like that is, Jesus is the Son of God. So if Jesus, the Son of God, could be crucified by other people, going through stuff, who am I for things not to happen to me? If things can happen to Jesus, we pray to Jesus, we pray to God. If things can happen to him, if things can go wrong for him, who am I? Yes. Because in life things go wrong. It doesn't mean that it's something bad, although it does feel bad, but in the long run, everything happens for a reason. you get over it. You learn a lot from whatever you were going through, even though it's very painful. But I think what I learned from it is to let go, not only with my child, but in all other things in life. For instance, you do something that you don't like, there's the time that you can actually tell yourself also to let go. What?
I'm listening to you. I never imagined you being such a good, I don't know, speaker. I could listen to you the whole day.
You're making me blush.
Also, I wanted to add that I believe that as a child of God, God cannot put you through something that you cannot handle, and
That's perfectly
yeah,
true.
exactly. And when we go through something, you go through that because the glory of God needs to be lifted. The grace of God is so much with us that everything that we go through, we know if something dies, something has to be born. So out of your pain, something positive needs to be born. You need to grow something from that pain. So that is also what I live with. I live by. There's nothing impossible with God. So if He could take us through this, imagine what else He could take us through.
And what else you can get over.
Exactly. If we had gone through such things, what more is there to life that is going to scare us off or take us away from the love of God? You know,
Nothing.
yes, I absolutely nothing. One last question: if you were to be, as to have not a superhero, if you were to have superpowers as a human being, what would you choose and why?
I would choose to be able to heal all of the broken people in this world, because I
Wow.
think society is so messed up because of so many broken people that doesn't know how to overcome or how to surpass that brokenness. So if I had a superpower, I would heal everyone that is broken so that they can just be whole again, so that they can be able to live their true self, to be themselves. Because like I just said, I think everything going wrong in the world right now is a result of broken people trying to overcome that.
Retaliate from the pain.
Exactly.
Sure. Thank you so much. It was nice to be with you and to get into your personal space, to get in, like, you have no idea how grateful I am for you and how the gratitude that I have for you having done this with us and sharing your experience. You know, you are sharing this with everyone, entirely the whole world. You are sharing this and you are helping someone out there who had given up and who thinks that God doesn't love them because of what they're going through. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, Judy.
Thank you guys. See you next time.